Straight ahead on 12 News, a Brooklyn Park family's Christmas wish.
And all we are asking for this Christmas is peace. Only you can give us this gift.
Plus, North Memorial celebrates a first-of-its-kind facility locally dedicated to mental health. And later, we'll meet a Maple Grove senior who isn't afraid to take on new challenges. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. We begin with a workers' rally over layoffs and lost wages happening outside of Maple Grove Trucking Company.
It is bringing more attention to claims that their former workplace in Roseville broke a contract with union employees. Reporter Shannon Slatton is live in Maple Grove with more. Shannon?
A rally will get underway in just a few minutes that hopes to bring more attention to the 95 workers who unexpectedly lost their jobs just before Thanksgiving. The union and workers say Finish Line Express here in Maple Grove is a sister company to Lakeville Motor Express, where they used to work. In fact, workers say they've seen some of their previous co-workers who were non-union now working at this facility. And actually, if you look in the parking lot, you can see trailers that read LME. That is the company where they used to work. One worker I spoke with today brought his family here, Shane Thompson. He says he worked for Lakeville Motor Express for 14 years, even working overtime hours on his final week of work.
Companies in Minnesota don't treat their employees this way. We were treated unjustly. There was over 95 of us, and like I said, they didn't give us our last 2 paychecks, and kind of leaves us hanging right before the holidays.
At today's rally, nurses who just finished picketing themselves are expected to show up and lend support to this group. The lieutenant governor is expected to be here as well. The union says they will be out here until something is done. Meanwhile, we did reach out to the company today, and they are not releasing statements at this time. Live in Maple Grove, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
All right, Shannon, thank you very much. A Brooklyn Park family is taking to social media in hopes of finding the hit-and-run driver responsible for killing their loved one.
23-year-old Seth Bennett was struck on election night and later died. Reporter Sonia Goins has more on the investigation and the emotional plea from Seth's family.
This video is for the driver of the vehicle that hit our brother on the evening of Tuesday, November 8th, 2016.
The YouTube video is only about 7 minutes long, but it's powerful and direct.
As Seth was crossing County Road 81, you hit him. You stopped knowing you hit someone, but then you drove off without checking on him or calling for help.
Seth Bennett's big sisters, Candy Nays and Devora Rubo, say they made this video because they want the driver to know they hit a real person who mattered to many people.
You were probably thinking it wouldn't hurt anyone, but you were wrong. That moment started a nightmare for Seth, you, and us.
Seth was hit while trying to cross County Road 81 and 71st Avenue on November 8th at around 11 p.m. There was at least one witness.
We need you to know that Seth suffered. The Samaritan who witnessed the accident protected him from being hit again while you left him on the road, bleeding and broken.
Strong words from his family. They can't believe the driver just left him lying there.
Lying on the road, he woke up and tried to speak but couldn't.
Seth had many injuries, including brain damage, and was taken off life support on November 17th.
We will never forget watching his broken body slowly shut down. We never got to see his eyes open again. We never got to have another conversation with him again.
Seth's family has this one Christmas wish for the driver to come forward.
And all we are asking for this Christmas is peace. Only you can give us this gift.
It's sad. I mean, it's very sad. It's an extremely tragic event, and I feel terrible for the family.
Brooklyn Park's Major Crimes Unit was assigned this case and has been working around the clock.
Detectives from that unit have been canvassing businesses, looking at videos, going to body shops, anything that they can think of to try to come up with a lead.
Police have been actively working this case since day one, but they've come up empty-handed and are now pleading for the public's help. If you know anyone with front-end damage to their vehicle and it seems suspicious, give them a call. In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
In other news, a big step in a lengthy effort to redevelop a key piece of property in New Hope. The city has approved an agreement with a developer to build apartments on 3.5 acres of land on Bass Lake Road. The city has owned the land since 2008 when older apartments there were demolished. Now plans call for building 182 luxury apartments next door to the New Hope Golf Course. They will have high-end finishings, giving the city a housing choice it doesn't have.
This is huge for the city. When we can get a developer like this to come into the city that is pitching a high-end luxury type of product, it's something the city doesn't have. And when we see that, it's something that we want, because it's going to put us back on the map to say, you know, this is a place, New Hope is now becoming the place where people want to come and live. And as a destination choice, not just as, well, it's close enough to where I want to be.
The project is expected to be finished by August of 2018. Rents will range from $1,100 to $2,300, depending on the size of the apartment. When people feel sick, they generally go see a doctor.
That's not always the case for people when their mental health is at risk. Now, there is a new resource for people in the Northwest Metro who need help, and Delane Cleveland joins us now with more on that. Delane?
Yeah, Mike and Alex, North Memorial has 15 primary care clinics and 2 hospitals, yet they had never had a clinic devoted entirely to mental health. That all changed today, and the hope is that more people will come in to seek mental health treatment.
We want to normalize mental illness, and that's part of it. So this is a normal looking clinic, it's not a scary space, it's not a hospital. So yeah, we hope that people would feel comfortable walking in to receive care.
This morning in Robbinsdale, North Memorial celebrated the grand opening of its mental health and addiction care clinic. It will provide treatment for patients dealing with issues such as depression, addiction, post-traumatic stress disorder, and suicidal thoughts. Doctors say they hope to treat at least 100 new patients a week.
Part of the magic here is that we're trying to get all the services that you need to succeed in a single place. So there are therapists, there are psychologists that specialize in testing, there are psychiatrists to prescribe medications, there's physicians who specialize in addiction, there are drug and alcohol counselors. All the sort of services that you need are bundled together to create a maximum effect.
North Memorial has also partnered with local nonprofits that deal with people in need of mental health services. Those organizations will have a dedicated space in the new clinic where they can coordinate care with North Memorial staff members. Mike?
All right, Delane, thanks. While encouraged by improving graduation rates, Robbinsdale school officials say there's more work to be done.
We can do better. We can do better, but we are performing. We have pockets of success. And what we're trying to do is making sure that they're not pockets, but they're consistent as we work towards making sure that all students are proficient.
Robbinsdale area schools, like all Minnesota districts, are trying to meet goals approved by the state legislature. Those goals include making sure all third graders are proficient in reading and all students graduate from high school and are ready for a career or college. In 2014, 71% of Robbinsdale district graduates enrolled in college. Coming up, a rare and remarkable feat, ACT perfection.
And then a little bit later in sports, we catch up with the #1 ranked team in girls hoops. That's the Hopkins Royals.
But first, staying dry on Friday with more clouds than sun. Out of more than 2 million students nationwide, only 2,200 achieve a perfect ACT score. And 4 of those students are from Wayzata High School. William Drew, Jeffrey Hugh, Christine Liu, and Dhruv Methi all scored a perfect 36. 3 of the students said they took practice ACT tests to prepare. Another got a head start on perfection by actually taking the ACT test in middle school. Now, this week's standout student is a Maple Grove senior who isn't afraid of taking on new challenges.
That's right. The challenge, though, for us is trying to include in this story all the different ways 17-year-old Sikai Yang excels.
At Maple Grove High School, you can get a feel for what kind of student Sikai Yang is by learning what he did last summer in Cape Town, South Africa.
It taught us the value of appreciating what we have here, and it really inspired us to make a difference in the world.
One of 30 Maple Grove student leaders chosen to travel to South Africa as part of a global outreach program, Yang tutored students and helped build a community garden. But that wasn't all he did last summer. He also was elected lieutenant governor by his Minnesota peers at Boise State.
He does well and is talented in lots of different areas.
Yang's school counselor sums it up well. This student body class president is a National Merit Scholar semifinalist and a National AP Scholar who scored 4 out of 5 on 8 advanced placement exams. And we're barely scratching the surface.
And then you've got all the different other things that he's involved in too that are that caring side of him too, that I think you've got that combination of just a very serious academic student, but also willing to take risks with something maybe he doesn't know and learn it.
Speaking of taking risks, we put Yang on the spot when we learned he likes to do magic tricks.
Just something I did as a kid, and now it's just a fun icebreaker and a fun talent and skill to show people.
Admitting some nerves on camera.
Tell me to stop.
Stop.
Okay.
He still wowed us.
And flip them.
Wow! I don't have any jacks at all. Going forward, Yang has his sights set on a career in international business. He's fluent in Chinese, and his businessman father is a role model.
I think it'd be super cool to follow in his footsteps and kind of bridge the gap between two of the world's biggest economies.
And Yang has applied for early decision to attend Columbia University in New York. Coming up, a treasure hunt that could win you a $200 shopping spree.
But first, hear from local standouts getting set for the Minnesota Football Showcase All-Star Game. John Jacobson is in next.
You might call it new and improved. A big high school All-Star Game is coming to U.S. Bank Stadium this Saturday afternoon. Jay Wilcox explains.
It's an impressive group of players. The North All-Stars are getting set for the Minnesota Football Showcase, and players from our area are pumped up about the opportunity.
Really humbling, to know that they selected me for this game and that they, chose me to represent my school. It's a really good experience.
Oh, it's an honor to be picked for this All-Star team, and it's a real pleasure to meet all these guys. A lot of great talent out there, a lot of good people out there too.
All-Star game, that's important.
After many years of playing the All-Star game in the summer after players had graduated, the decision to move the game to right after the football season was made in large part to get college-bound players to participate. For a D1 player like Minnesota recruit Eric Aboje of Cooper, it means playing in the game instead of having to skip it.
Honestly, I wouldn't, just because college would be right after graduation. So I'm glad it's now than June. Some of these guys I've never met before, I've heard about them, but we just never gotten the chance to talk. So it's getting me closer to some guys out of the community. Feels really good.
I love that they moved it to December. I don't think I would have been able to play, so being able to play is a great feeling. I'm going to be playing against some really good talent once it gets to the college level, so this is a really good preparation.
In addition to Aboje, offensive lineman Matt Moczynski of Armstrong, Nash Jensen of Osseo, and Gavin Blomberg of Providence Academy will block for the North team. Champlain Park wide receiver Cameron Witt and linebacker Colton Eit are on the squad, along with Totino Grace running back Gayflor Flomo and defensive teammates Joe Russell and Charlie Waters. The chance to play at U.S. Bank Stadium will be icing on the cake for these local stars. Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
It's the North All-Stars versus the South, Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock at U.S. Bank Stadium. There are 2 youth clinics earlier in the day. Proceeds from ticket sales go to the Minnesota Football Coaches Association and the Tackle Cancer Campaign. The Hopkins girls basketball team is hosting the Breakdown Sports Tip-Off Classic this weekend at the Lindbergh Center. The Royals are off to a 2-0 start and are ranked #1 in the opening Class 4A poll. Here's Jason Malilla with more.
Hopkins head coach Brian Cosgriff calls this year's team a blank canvas. For the first time in a while, the Royals don't have an established star to build around.
For the last 3-4 years, we had a Nia or a TT or Aaron or somebody like that, and we're not quite sure what we're like or what we're capable of or how this thing's going to go out. All I can tell you is that the kids have worked very hard to get to where we are right now.
The Royals will still have plenty of talent, as they always do. Senior Dee Winston will be an impact player, and freshman Paige Beckers has been red hot to start the season, scoring over 25 points in both of Hopkins' first 2 games.
Well, I think it's because our offense, our tempo, we push the ball really well, and our defense has been pretty good, and defense turns into offense. So it's a lot of the plays have been focused on scoring, and yeah, the plays and the coaches and my teammates have just helped it all flow together pretty well.
Whether it's in conference or out of conference, Hopkins will routinely face the best teams in the state. That's become more necessity than design for this program, with the Royals' perennial success making it difficult to fill the schedule.
Well, quite frankly, those are the only teams that will play us. They're tough teams. And so, you know, we know going into this thing that just about every game we play is going to be that way. I think that goes for the same within our own conference. You know, the schools are so big that the only teams that will play are the good teams, and they feel they have a shot at beating you. We need 18 non-conference games, all of us, so, you know, we got to play whoever we can get.
Still, the girls like the challenge of being tested every game and believe it will prepare them for the postseason.
It's actually a good thing because then we're pushed to do our very best every time we step on the court, and that's all anyone can ever ask for. And I think these girls, you know, they're willing to give their all anytime.
Next week, the Royals will test their mettle against 4th-ranked St. Michael Albertville and defending state champion Minnetonka. The Skippers beat Hopkins in the state final last season. Jason Melillo, 12 Sports.
At the Tip-Off Classic this Saturday, Hopkins faces Casson Mantorville. The Comets are ranked 8th in Class 3A. And that's a look at sports for today.
All right, thanks, John. We'll be right back. There's a new way to get involved in the Interfaith Outreach Annual Sleepout.
And you could win $200 in gift cards that are donated by Target. The hunt is on for a hidden medallion. It looks like this and will be in a public place in one of the 8 cities Interfaith Outreach serves, including Plymouth and Medicine Lake. And we'll have a clue for you in a moment. But organizers say they came up with the idea to increase interest in the annual sleepout.
The idea is educate people about what's happening in our community and why we do a sleep out. At the same time, provide some really fun way for people to actively get involved and get out in the cold weather and hunt for that medallion.
So here is the first clue. So many lakes, which one to choose? It helps to get your bearings. Watery access won't aid your quest. This is no time for seafaring. There'll be a new clue every day for the next 9 days, and you can find them on Interfaith's website at iocp.org. And that leaves a lot of area,
yes.
But I think they'll narrow it down just a little bit.
A few more clues.
That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here again on Friday.